Coping with Tre Tailor, giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we'll always be coping with something. Coping.
Hey, good Friday morning, afternoon too. Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor, and we continue our year of bringing you info, tips, and strategies to help you live the life you desire and deserve. Coping with me in 2023 is our theme for this year. We're helping you focus on your health and well-being, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially. But how do you start and then continue to success? Coach Ebony Cornish joins us. She's here to give us the strategies and tips that you need with her consistency coaching. Hey there, Eb. Thanks so much for joining us today, beautiful.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. We're going to talk to her in just a short, but first, your community updates. DHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Visit scdhec.gov for more information. Now, if you are a veteran, you can also get information from the VA on all of that. Also, you'll also see all of this stuff scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You'll see information about the retail outlets where you can get a vaccine and also a test, including Kroger, CVS. That includes the CVSs that are located in Target stores, and also Walgreens. You'll also see information about the Comet bus system, where you can not only get a free ride to get your vaccination, but at the Comet main location, you can also get a vaccination and a free COVID test. Now, if you are having some challenges with technology preventing you from getting your test, you can call Get Set Up, and they will help you do just that. Get set up to get your shot, your vaccination, or your test. Now, if you are had a death in your family or a friend and need some help with COVID-related funeral expenses, FEMA has a website set up to help you do just that. You'll also see information scrolling at the bottom of the screen for some financial assistance, including the Lexington County Bill Assistance Program. Dominion Energy has a bill assistance program. And if you or someone you know is having a challenge coping with anything, SC Hopes, the South Carolina Department of Mental Health, that's a 24-hour assistance line. Call SC Hopes. Please call and get the information and assistance that you need. You're watching Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. We are streaming live on the Tailor Made production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council, and also on Thursday and Friday. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channel. We invite you to go over there and hit the subscribe button. There you will find 3+ years of content, information, interviews, and more to help you cope. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. You're watching Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for watching us. Coming up in just a short, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. 'Tis the season to deal with your New Year's resolutions. And if you are having some concerns about making it through, Coach Eb is here to help you. It's all a part of our Coping With Me in 2023 series, and it continues right after this on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life, but when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall, 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean, and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there, and it gets me everywhere I need to go. We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Thank you so much for joining us on Coping. I'm Tre Tailor. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we will always be coping with something. We're streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channel. There you will find 3+ years of information, interviews, and content to help you cope. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. It's all about you. Coping with you in 2023. Coping with me in 2023 is our theme for this year. We are giving you information, advice, and strategies to help you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. But how do you get started? Well, stay consistent and keep your goals. Coach Ebony Cornish joins us. She says everybody knows how to start their journey. It's time to learn how to finish. She does consistency coaching, and it's about mastering self for transformation. Ebony, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey,
we appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Hello.
Absolutely. So listen, I love this because to me, mastering self means it starts with you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about transformation all the time. Everybody, I feel like on social media, especially the gurus are always like,
Yeah.
stay consistent, stay disciplined. And it's less, I love how you mentioned that it's about strategy.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of excitement and we got a lot of feeling, but when that feeling goes away, is often when we fall back into old habits. So it's definitely about mastering ourselves,
Yeah,
and becoming better and better and better within ourselves.
Well, the thing about that is, it's so interesting that you said that, because we've been doing in our series, we've talked a lot about relaxation, and yesterday during our program about Reiki, Tina Phillips with No Shame Counseling and Consulting talked about the trauma that we experience from our past, and past could be as past as yesterday, or it could be 20 years from now, and how we take that into our lives and we live that trauma out in several different ways, and it just becomes normal to us.
Yes.
So how do you figure out what parts of you need to be transformed?
That is, she hit it the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And this concept, definitely, because she's talking about Reiki and then I'm talking about changing with your habits, it all is entwined together, because at the center, it is ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I love that you mentioned, how do we figure out what it is that we need to change? So when I'm working with clients, and when I remember when I started my own transformation, Tre, the one thing I recognized was whatever stopped me before, it's probably going to show up to stop me again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so when we think about the times that we started our journey, it's always tell clients like this, the purpose of transformation is for us to get very familiar with ourselves, and not in a judging way.
Right.
Why you every time I try to start, I quit. I'm a quitter. I always stop. I get overwhelmed. I'm this, I'm that. And every time we say that, we are actually putting that cloak on. We're wearing that failure that has become to define us. So one of the first things that I always tell my clients, and the first thing we want to identify is, at what point is it that you normally stop?
Okay. Yeah.
To give you an example, a lot of times people may say, okay, my goal is to lose 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in reality, the thing that stops them is the kids start needing them, the job gets stressful, life gets crazy, and then we throw that goal to the side because we get overwhelmed. So in reality, the goal isn't to lose 25 pounds. The goal is, how do I manage my schedule, my stress levels, when it gets hard? And so when we begin to look at our journey that way, it allows us to take this big micro goal, lose 25 pounds, and actually break it down to, okay, I need to figure out how to manage my stress eating. That's where I want to. So then that's where we begin to say, okay, how do I manage my stress eating? And then that's that we start.
Because that's the real issue. The issue isn't what the goal is. The issue is what's preventing you from getting to the goal.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that you say that. We just put up a picture where you transformed your life yourself. You had a huge weight loss journey. So what was it for you? What did you recognize? Okay, I've got to do this so that I can do this.
I love that question. So this is the thing. I was a quitter. Okay. Like I would start, and this is the thing, especially in the beginning of the year. So I love that you're doing this. In the beginning of the year, we all start with the best intentions.
Yes. Brand new year, new year.
New year, new me. I got this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me.
Right.
I'm gonna start drinking a gallon of water a day. I'm gonna work out an hour every day. And we have the best intentions. And what happens is when life shows up, when that excitement runs out, we start to quit. So one of the things that happened for me, Trey, and this is what I love to tell when I'm talking to people about transformation. The first thing that I realized I had to do was stop expecting so much of myself in overnight. So literally, like this is what I would do. Okay, I'm about to start my new diet, so I'm gonna eat everything I can the weekend, like the night before. The weekend before, girl, I'm about to eat this, I'm gonna eat that, and then on Monday, I'm gonna all of a sudden eat salads and only drink water.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Right. That's not realistic.
It's not realistic. So we break down the goal, but I really like to want to first start with when we talk about transformation, about why we want to change. And in my changing, the one thing that I realized down to my core that was really hurting me was that I was constantly quitting on myself. So when I began to think about my journey this time, I looked at it as this is my relationship with myself.
With me. Yeah.
With me. Like you said, the theme you have for 2023.
Yeah, coping with me in 2023.
Coping with me.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things I realized, I said, I've been a quitter. But when I started my journey, the first thing I said was, I'm not going to say I'm a quitter.
Right.
The phrase that I began to use was this: I used to be a quitter.
Yeah. Because words have power. Words have power.
Yes. Power. So when we begin to work with my clients, and the first thing you're going to do is the identity that you have made for yourself, that I always quit, I always stop, we switch that and say, I used to do that.
Yeah.
But today is a brand new day.
Right. I'm not that person anymore. I love that.
Yes. And then today's a brand new day.
Because we're speaking into ourselves. We're speaking that positivity into ourselves.
Yes. So when we begin to think about that change, when I begin to change and say, okay, what is my new identity that I want to focus with? Okay, I am a woman who keeps her promises to herself.
Yeah.
And so when this transformation began to happen, it allowed me to forgive myself for what happened in the past. That's over. And I am not bound to what I did before. Today is a brand new day where I have the choice to choose myself. Mm-hmm. Every moment I can choose myself and say, this is a moment that I change. So when we first start, I like for clients to begin to, talk about it. What are the things that you used to do? Now what you're going to say is, I used to be like that. I no longer have to be like that anymore.
Right. I love that. Ebony Cornish joins us. She is a transformation coach. She is sharing with us for our theme, Coping With Me in 2023, where we give you tips, strategies, information to help you live the life that you desire and deserve. And after coming out of 3 years of COVID, where so many people passed away, so many losses, jobs, relationships, this is the time that we can really deal with our stuff. A lot of people, I was talking to somebody yesterday, they didn't go to the doctor. And when they finally went, all of their numbers were all over the place, so we have got to come to a point. And like you said, what better time than the beginning of the year to really focus on being intentional. Yeah. And I love that you say, Ebony, it does start with speaking life or speaking positivity into ourselves. I'm not a quitter. I used to be whatever A, B, C, and D is. Just being honest and figuring out, okay, what is preventing me from reaching my goals? So let me attack that first.
Yes.
But we got to be honest with ourselves.
Oh, that's a good one. Self-accountability. Yep. Self-accountability. And I think we look at sometimes we think about self-discipline and self-accountability as something that is like negative. But in reality, when we remove the, we self-accountability allows us to have our power back.
Yeah.
And I love that concept, because as long as I blame other things around me for why I'm struggling, that means that these situations are able to dictate my success.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But when I say, okay, but what can I do? And I love that question. What can I do in this moment? What can I do today? What power do I have today to make the choice that will get me closer to my goal, so that I can be who it is I want to be? And I love the phrase that you said, live the life that I deserve to have.
Yeah, because here's the thing, we are only people that we can control. So, it's interesting because, like you say, when we keep throwing it off on someone else, we're also not only giving them power, whatever that they is, we can easily say, it's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. So the culpability is off of me.
Yes.
But if we recognize it's you who want to change, so you got to do it. And you are the only person that you have control over.
That's it.
That's you got to do it. You got to do it. So how do we start fixing? And I guess we kind of just talked about this, fixing the parts that need fixing. Do you believe in maybe prayer, counseling, journaling, things like that?
Absolutely. I think that accountability and seeking out the help that we need is a key component to our success, because we have so many blind spots.
Yeah.
And I like to always, when I'm talking to people, one of the things that I realize is that it's much easier for us to focus on, like when we're trying to change, it's easier for us to identify what we see in other people that needs to change. And we sometimes struggle with changing simply because we judge ourselves from our best intentions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe that with those of us that want to change, when we start in the beginning of the year or whenever we say we're going to change, we really do want to
do it. Yeah.
Right. And I think that it's important for us to not judge ourselves because of the times that we fail, but to look back and say, that's what happened then. This is what happened now. So one of the things that I love for clients to do is to begin to visualize about who you're becoming. And then when I talk about like the dream, like really get in and really think about the dream. So I'll never forget, Trey, when I wanted to change. So before, like when I started, I was overweight. I love some Bojangles Bowberry biscuits with extra. I love some sweet tea. Okay. And that's the way I ate. And I had no schedule. I had no like all I knew that I was going to do was go to work and then come home and just whatever. Like I didn't plan my eating. I didn't plan.
Right.
But you know what, Trey? I remember like how much when I was on social media, or if I saw like women, like I admired the women who like were drinking water and they had all this little meal prep and stuff. And they're going to work out. And then the mamas that were on the beach and they had like natural hair and they got their baby. Like I would look at that and I loved it. And I'm like, and I had this little secret desire, like, oh, I want to be like that.
I want to be like that. Yeah.
And I think each of us have some vision of ourselves that we desire to be.
Yeah.
And what I want anyone who is listening today to know is that your dreams and your vision and your thought for what you want to be, that is inspiration from above.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
We will never get a thought of what we desire to be unless we were capable of doing it.
That's deep. That's deep. Yeah.
Because think of like, if we think about it, anything that you've ever had a thought, like maybe, and I think like when we see people, we might say, oh, I think I like that. I'd like to do that. And if we really sit and think about it, it's never so like, I don't like to cook and I don't cook. I've never seen like a chef cooking and thought to myself, oh, I would love to open a restaurant.
Right.
I saw a pilot and said, oh, I want to fly a plane. But when I would see women like that fit mama on the beach with her kid, I used to be like, oh, I kind of like that. Or when I would see coaches who were like traveling and speaking, I would think to myself, oh, I want to do that.
Right.
I want everyone to realize that thought, that just even if it comes for a second, that is inspiration, that is something that you can do.
That you can do, that
Yes.
is something you can achieve in your heart of hearts, in your mind of minds.
Yes.
Or else, as you say, and the Holy Spirit would not have put that thought on your mind.
100%. I
Yeah.
really believe that.
Yeah.
So when we begin to think, when we think about what it is that we want to be, we begin to move in that capacity today. So while you may not on the physical look like what it is that you have in your mind, what I do today is going to compound, and I'll end up being the vision that I see for myself. So while I might not on the outside look like the end goal, I'm going to drink this water. I'm going to do this workout. I'm going to get in here and meal prep. And I'm going to think about that I am doing the things that are going to get me to where it is that I want to be tomorrow.
Right. Ebony Cornish joins us. She is a consistency coach, and you can see her information there. She is a successful consistency coach and has many clients that she has coached through successful journeys. So let's talk about, how do you make those goals, Ebony? How do you make them? Should you make more than one at a time?
That's a really good question. So I think it's really important that we focus on small changes at a time.
Yeah.
So for example, when I ask clients about what it is that we want to change, so we'll make a list of things that we know that we need to change. Now, are we going to change all those things at one time? Absolutely not.
Right.
The first thing we want to do, and I like to use simple things because these concepts I think are pretty universal. If you don't drink water regularly, so the first thing, I don't want you to wake up and want to drink 64 ounces. No.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to do that. Yeah.
No. And even if we do, most people will do it for a short period of time and then tank out, and then we feel bad, and then we go back in the cycle of the starting.
Mm-hmm.
So what I always advise clients, figure out what your baseline is. Do you typically drink 16 ounces a day? All right. So I want you to focus on 32 ounces a day for 7 days straight, and then we're going to increase it another bottle. The part of us that wants to hit the road running and be a road runner and get to them will say, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that a little bit adds up to a lot.
Yeah.
And when we talk about consistency, we want consistency over intensity. So write the list of all the things that you do want to change. And then we're going to pull out 2 or 3 things and ask ourselves, and this is where it comes into the relationship with self.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what am I willing to commit to?
Right now. Not next year when you whatever. Yeah, but right now. Yeah, not next year when the kids go off to college or whatever.
Right.
But right now.
What's attainable for me now?
Right now. Yeah.
And I think even us figuring out the goal, we have to remove the comparison part.
Yeah.
And looking at other people and realizing that this is my journey. This is where I'm going, and that every step that I take today is going to equal up to tomorrow, and finding peace with myself because I trust myself to do exactly what it is that I say I'm going to do. So once and when we get those wins, it makes us feel good. You've spent a whole week, you drank 32 ounces every day. Okay, now I'm going to bump it up. Yeah. And then we layer these different habits, and eventually they become the norm, and then the older things will begin to subside.
Right. So you say, pull out make a list of everything you want to do, pull out a couple. And then what do you say? This is what I'm going to do this year, or this is what I'm going to do for the next 6 months. What is the time period after you pull those 2 or 3 things out?
Focus on a week.
Okay.
1 week.
One day, 1 week at a time. Right?
1 week at a time. So if you're focusing on getting more movement in your life, I tell them, if you're not working out at all, I don't want you to focus on doing 5 or 6 days a week. And I ask the question, ask yourself, what am I willing to commit to?
Yeah.
And as a coach, and I think this is important for everyone, social media will make a lot of people are going to come on and put their beliefs on you.
Yeah.
And instead, what you want to do is create a system that works for you in your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that system will change. So if you know you're a mom and this is my schedule and I got these kids and I got this husband or I got this, I got all these things going on. Okay. So what can you commit to? Can you commit to 2 days a week? Then you do those 2 days a week for that week. And then you ask yourself at the end, assess how you did. Check your habit tracker. Did you meet that? You met it? Great. All right. So let's add another day.
Yeah. Yeah. Little by little.
Little by little. Yeah.
And from what you're saying, it's important to keep a notebook so that you can keep up with what you're supposed to do, what you've said, what you didn't do, kind of what you want to do. You need to keep up with yourself.
Yes. What we track, whatever we track, what the success that we track, we can see how we're progressing.
Yeah.
We can't track what we ain't tracking. So we won't see what's happening. So we want to make sure that we're tracking it and don't be afraid of it. And if we miss a day, that's okay, because at the next moment is another moment for me to make the best choice for me.
Right.
It's not over.
Want to say hi to Latoya Ashford and Francine Roach. Both those ladies are watching. Thank you, ladies, so much. Please post and share so we can get this information to the masses, because at this beginning of the year, a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon of New Year's resolutions, and it's fine, but we want to make sure you stick to it. So as I say, you can, get the life that you desire and deserve. So what about accountability partners? Do we need people to help us along the way? And if so, how do we find them?
Absolutely. So I have a great suggestion for a book. And I've got it right here. I have suggestions to all my clients. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Okay. This is an amazing book. And one of the things that's really important is that we connect with other people where what they're doing, what you desire to do, is the norm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that again. When you are creating new habits, surround yourself with people where those things are their norm. And let me tell you why. Many times we're looking for support from people who just simply can't give us the support that
Right. They can't do it. They're not bad people. They just can't give us what we need. Girl, that's a word. And so many
we place these expectations on people who probably need the same thing that we need.
Yeah.
So when we find people and I love when the book speaks about where is the norm, and let me explain why that's really important. For example, when you have, like, I tell my clients, like on the weekends, like one of my clients is a sports mom. And so she's like, okay, when I go to the game, like, what's the game plan? I'm like, okay, so you need to get your cooler, and you're going to pack all your healthy snacks. You're going to have your water. You're going to eat before you go to the game.
Right.
And then you're already going to know, you guys are going to go out for a celebratory dinner, lunch with the team after that. You're going to have all your stuff so you can eat it and drink your water, so that when you get to where you're going, you can either plan that you're going to have a small portion of what's there, or you have the mindset, I ate before I came. I've had snacks while I'm here. I'm fine. And while you may be in an environment at the game where other people don't understand that, and they're like, oh, why you don't take all that? Why you doing all that?
Right.
But on the back end, if you have a group or you have a coach, we're back here like cheering her on, like, yes, girl, that's what we do. Yeah. I'm a fit mom. I'm a fit chick. And then you're beginning to absorb this new identity, and it becomes like something that you are proud of. And then it becomes something that you begin to take, like even told my clients this weekend, I'm like, y'all, plan for the weekend now. If the weekend is when you struggle, you plan now. Plan for the expected. That way you can have something ready for a contingency for the unexpected, so that you know in your mind, okay, when I wake up on Monday, I'm going to be so proud of myself because I showed up for myself. I didn't give in to what normally knocks me down, and I'm becoming stronger every day. So having some sort of accountability where someone will support you in the changes that you're making and make you feel good about it, versus if you go around other people and they just because they ain't with it, then like, girl, they ain't doing all that. I ain't got time for all that. And that's how they feel. But you are making those changes. So when you have like another supportive end on the back end, that can help you so much.
Yeah, Kim Hicks says you must do what's best for you, not your friend. It's your life. Thank you, Kim, so much for your comment and for watching. I tell you, the time's almost gone, but I want to ask you before you leave, staying motivated. How do you stay motivated? And should you give yourself a reward? And if so, what should that be? Not a chocolate chip cookie, right?
I saw a phrase once that says, I don't reward myself with food. I'm not a dog. So
Right.
I mean,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. So definitely, how do you keep yourself motivated? You understand that you won't always feel motivated.
Yeah.
And you don't judge yourself because you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And this is where we go back into like the affirmations and your identity. And you begin to say that I'm doing this because, and then you go back to why you started. So that's how you keep yourself motivated. And when you're around, you have your accountability partners, they're able to keep you motivated. And then the other thing, as far as rewarding yourself, absolutely. Figure out what it is that may excite you, whether it's getting you a new outfit or maybe taking yourself out to lunch or going, anything that makes you celebrate yourself. Yeah. And then I really believe that when we begin to celebrate ourselves and we celebrate the journey and you look back and say, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm definitely further than I was.
Absolutely.
And I know that I've started in the past. This is the last time I'm starting over, and I'm going to see the end. I'm going to see this through because I am a woman who is committed to herself. And whatever I do, it is under the sound and the authority of my voice.
Absolutely. I love that, Ebony. And I was just telling someone today when I was leaving the gym, they said, you really out? I said, yeah, I don't particularly like to go. And yes, it hurts sometimes, but I like what I see happening. After I leave the gym, I feel invigorated. I can see the change in my body, and I'm doing it to live. I want to live. I want to live a good life. I've got these 2 children that I've got to raise. So I see the end. I see the end. I'm not looking, not being short-sighted about it. Right. I'm looking at the end of the race, not the beginning of the race.
Yes. Doing it for our future self.
Doing it for your future self. Ebony Cornish is a consistency coach. She has several clients, and she would love to have you as a client too. She feels like it's time to learn how to finish, and it is about mastering yourself for your transformation. You can see her information on the screen. Please give her a buzz, hit her up on social media, and she can help you attain the goals that you would like to also. Ebony's going to come right back with us in just a minute to give us our final words of devotion. Thank you, Ebony, so much for joining us. And thank you so much for all of this great information, because it is really my desire to bring people information and strategies, as we both said, to make it to the finish line.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much.
It's worth it. Thank you. So listen, if you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope, please email coping. You need to email booking. Talk to Josephine. Email booking at copingwithtreatailor.com. Booking at copingwithtreatailor.com. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope, please email copingwithtreatailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping. Also, Javis Financial Services, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson. Also, the Comet Bus System, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Computers Unique Dutch Square Mall, and also Black Pages Black Expo, coming to Charleston in March and then to Columbia in May. Don't forget that coming up next week, we're going to talk for Wellness Wednesday about caregivers, caring for an elderly family member, maybe children. 3 women of all ages are going to join us to share their caregiver experience and give you some information, again, to help you with your caregiver experience. We're also going to talk to Kwan Fitch. She is going to help you with your New Year's resolution. And the Richland County Public Library start their monthly series telling us all of the wonderful things that's going on over there. Kimberly Davis with the Richland County Library will join us next Friday on Coping. As usual, I leave you with a devotional, and Ebony is coming back to us to share with us something. Ebony, what do you want to share with us today?
All right, I'm going to share one of my favorite scriptures, guys. It's Ecclesiastes 9:11. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to those who endure until the end. You can do this.
Amen. That's a good one. That is a good one. Just keep on pushing. Keep on moving.
Yes.
Ebony, thank you again so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Good luck to you. God bless. And thank you for doing such great work for folks in our community. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the same.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. So listen, until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings. Take care. Stay well. God bless. And COVID numbers are high in South Carolina. So please don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you soon.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive. Ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do. 6 ways to a better you. Coping, find peace of mind to survive